Hi, welcome to this Quilt Easy video tutorial where we'll be going over pattern exports which can be used on Quilt Manager or putting your patterns as a PDF version on a computer or anything that you might like. So the first step will obviously be to enter our robot, and I'll need a quilt area. Since I do have a robot hooked up on my desk to the side of me, so I could spin the pulleys, or I'll just hurry and set double and let it default to 36 by 12 just so that I can go into my patterns. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to export a pattern database. Now bear in mind that I am using the new system software 5.1.19. So if I go to the patterns, I'll drop down to import and export. I have a USB flash drive here, which I'm going to plug into my hub. Now it doesn't matter, you can see in the top right corner the tablet recognized that storage came in. Now it doesn't matter when you plug the flash drive in, but if I had opened something that I was trying to explore the flash drive, such as perhaps I was in here, restore backup, and I was trying to go into the flash drive, if I'm in this screen and then I plug the flash drive in, it probably is not going to find it. So I'm going to hit the back arrow to go back. Oh, and then I'm going to cancel out of here. Then I'll go in here now, because that's got to go in before I start asking it to look at the flash drive so that I can find it. So the first thing I'm going to do is export a database. Exporting a database, what that will do is it will export literally every single pattern, all of them, in one file. That's important for sharing a database if you need to put it on another on a flash drive, on a computer, somewhere where you want to keep a certain database safe. So I'm going to say backup patterns, and I'm going to highlight my USB storage. I can open the storage, or I could just double click to go into the flash drive, but I'm going to say open. Okay, I can see stuff that I already have on my flash drive. Now I'm creating a new database. I'll name it after myself, Tanner. I'll give the tablet a second to catch up with what I'm doing. Now it's important when you back up a database that you put the dot down below period DB in order for it to properly recognize that it is indeed a database file, and I'll say done. And now once I've labeled it what I want, it automatically did it, but on the bottom right hand side I could go push choose or open. So the database backup was successful. I'll say OK. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to show you is how to export individual patterns. Exporting individual patterns can be tricky, as there's multiple ways of doing it. I can export an entire tag, and if I do that, then I have to tell it first what tag it is that I'm going to send out. I could send out all of my animals, or just all of my blocks. But I want to do just a couple individual patterns. Or perhaps all of them. I'll do all of them. I'm going to say export all, and I'll once again put it on my USB storage. Now before I hit choose, I'm going to create a folder that I want to put them in. Notice how it's not showing my database files, because this is specifically looking for patterns. The database files are still there that we saw earlier, but we have not told the computer to look for them, so we can't see them. So I'm going to go up here and add a folder, and I'll hurry in, select that new folder. I'll show you how to rename it later. Okay, now that I'm here in the new folder, I'm going to name whatever my backup will be called. I'll just call it, I'll great. Whoops, I didn't get the R. I'll just call it that geek, and then I'll say done. Directory was not found, so that one didn't work. Okay, in this case when you export patterns, let me show you that again. It wants you to select a specific folder. I'll put it in new folder 3. So I only click on it, I don't double click. Notice across the top it tells me where I am. Mount USB storage. These are the things on my flash drive. If I go deeper into the drive, If I double click, I can see the things on inside that new folder. Right now there's nothing in there. Let's push this back arrow to go up back a directory. Okay, now here's where there can be a difference between double clicking and pushing choose. Since exporting patterns is looking for a folder, if that's highlighted then I hit choose, it's going to put all my patterns in new folder 3. If I double click it, it's going to show me the stuff in folder 3. So I'm just going to highlight folder 3 once, then I'll push choose. And this is not going to open it. This is actually going to select it for exporting all my patterns. So you can see all of the patterns that are present on my tablet are being exported to here. Now I could have exported just a specific tag. Later we will go over importing patterns. I'll pause the video while this exports patterns so you don't have to be bored by watching this long string. Okay, I've successfully, you can see that it put all the patterns on mount USB storage inside my new folder 3, but then it created itself a new folder called pattern export. So it's a folder within a folder, and I'll show you how to fix that. So to avoid that next time, what you could do is instead of choosing a folder, just hit choose, and it will create a folder called pattern export on your flash drive. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's cancel. The last thing I will show you is how to export all your patterns as a PDF. Okay, and once again, you gotta choose somewhere. I'm not gonna choose a specific folder this time. I'm just gonna let it go on mount and then dump it on my USB storage. I'm not going to choose a folder. I'm going to choose the flash drive itself. Remember last time when I exported the patterns, I chose a folder? I did not have to do that. Since there's a choose option, it's letting me choose. Look at the map where I am, USB storage. I can choose this is what we call the root directory of the USB storage. The root directory is the first screen of the storage and not inside a folder. If you had a filing cabinet, inside the cabinet itself, inside one of the drawers is the root directory of that drawer. But once you add a folder, if something goes inside a folder that you put in a filing cabinet, the paper that's inside a folder is no longer inside the root, but the folder is inside the root, if that makes sense. So let's just choose just the flash drive. I'm going to hit choose. I'll hit choose and let it prepare a PDF. Okay, now that we've shown you how to export databases, patterns, and PDFs, notice that this created itself a folder, images, and then put Perfect Stitch PDF. Now that we've shown you how to export all of those, we're going to show you how to import all of those items. And then we'll go to Quilt Manager and show you how to import all of them on Quilt Manager. So once again, as I go into my patterns, if I have no patterns on my tablet for whatever reason, I can go here and say restore backup, and look that it's looking for a database. And I remember that I have some databases on my flash drive. The reason I double clicked is because it didn't have the choose option, but rather the open, until I find my database, my Tanner one. And I have one from Singer, Viking, Pfaff, and QuiltEZ. I've got multiple databases that I could cycle between for whole groups of patterns that I like, that I go between sometimes. I'm going to put those ones on. I'm going to say open. So what it will do is it'll wipe out all the patterns that you do have and just put on the patterns of that database. So I'll say yeah. Sometimes if your tablet also experiences some kind of problem where you don't have your patterns, you can contact QuiltEZ and we'll restore. We'll send you a restore file for you. So my database has been restored. And you'll see here if I go back up to patterns, now I have a different set of patterns that I've put on. Well, that's importing a database. Now we will show you importing just patterns. So what you have to do is, since you have multiple tags that exist on your tablet, when you import, you have to tell it what tag they're going to go under. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and find a tag that I like, which there's none of them that I want to use, so I'll add a new tag, and I'll name it after me. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose that new Tanner tag that I just created. If I could scroll through the list here and select Tanner, and then say OK. OK, now I'm going to do an import. And once again, I have to tell the flash drive where these files are. If I highlight my USB storage, now you have to be careful. If I say choose now, it's going to take every single pattern that it can find on your USB flash drive, which I don't want that. I want to open my USB storage. So I open that. New folder 3, pattern export. Okay, if I hit choose now, it's going to take all of these patterns and import them, because this is choosing the folder pattern export. Now that's a lot of patterns that I don't want to import. I only want a couple of them. So let me go teach you how to use the File Explorer available on your tablet. Some tablets might call it File Manager, others call it Explorer. In this case, I'm gonna use Explorer that my tablet has. Basically, this lets you move files around that are on your tablet. So we'll jump into my USB storage, and I know in my new folder 3 that I have these guys. All my patterns got dumped into this one folder. I'm just going to hit the editor, or not yet. Let's click on multi to do multi-select. Now not all file managers are the same, so you'll have to play with yours to learn how it works. But see, that's letting me select multiple items. Safari 1, Safari 2, Santa Claus, US and Canada, 3 Daisies, America's Pride. I'm going to hit the editor and I'm going to copy those. Now I'm going to level up to start moving up some levels. I want to stay on my USB storage, which I'm on, and I'm going to make a new folder, and I'll just call this import, just to help me remember, because these are the ones that I specifically wanted to import. Okay, once that's created, I'll go into my new import folder that I just made right here. And now I'll use the editor to paste in all those things that I copied earlier. Okay, so now I have them here as well. So now if I go back to my USB storage, now new folder 3. If I don't like it, how it's a folder within a folder, I could select this and then move it. I want it on the root of my USB storage. Editor, paste. Now that's going to take a while because there's a lot of patterns in there. But once it takes it out, I can delete new folder 3 because it will no longer have a folder in it because I just moved something out. That's the same function of Windows as doing a cut and paste. Okay, well I'm not going to actually do it because this is going to take a while. But you could do that if you so desired, and then once you were done, you could delete this folder, because you took everything out of it that was inside of it. So let's jump back over to Perfect Stitch. Now that we've got what I actually wanted to, I'm going to hit cancel. And the reason I'm hitting cancel is because I've recently made a couple changes on my flash drive, and I want Perfect Stitch to recognize that. So now I'm going to go back to import, open my USB storage, and I'm going to use just that new import folder that I made. Sorry you can't see it because there's a cursor in the way, but there's my new import folder that I have, and I want to prove that to you before I hit choose. Let me double click it, and there's just only those patterns that I put in earlier. Because now I'll say import, and then I'm going to hit choose, and everything and anything in that folder is coming in to quote. See, there's only nine patterns that I had put in. There may have been a couple more, but some of them were duplicates, so. Okay, so there's those, and they were tagged as Tanner. Now, another thing they get tagged as is, oh, I named it input, not import. It also tags them, whoops, let me go back. It also tags them as the name of the folder that they came in, as well as Tanner. So the problem with that is, and a quick fix is to jump down to tag. And over here on impot, I don't like that one. That was the name of the folder that they came from. I'm just going to hit edit tags, and then that tag, I'm going to kill it. Okay, let's knock it out. And then I can stop editing tags, so I'll take that off. So that was a quick fix. And now I notice as I go back here, I don't have that weird impot tag. I only have the Tanner tag with all those that I wanted in there. So that's importing patterns. Okay, now we're going to jump over to a computer to show you how to put these files into Quote Manager or also view PDFs. So